And I saw one thread on Twitter. This was last week that, like, very entertaining. It was going through this guy, a bunch of posts about how dinosaurs totally made up, a ridiculous lie, not real, blah, 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 all that. He's like, the bones are radioactive, but the bones aren't there. And like, just a bunch of shit. And like, you get to like the bottom bit of it. And would you believe it? The dinosaur fakers also passed.
Shit.
It's all. Did you see that? Did you see that coming?
No.
These guys can't even focus enough on faking dinosaurs. They love kids so much. Like that's everyone.
I do like that conspiracy theory that dinosaurs are fake because the word dinosaur didn't exist until like 150 years ago or something like that. No one had ever. Obviously, the story is that for all of time we've been finding big bones and not knowing what they were, but the other side says we never saw a dinosaur bone before, and then suddenly they're everywhere. And they look like this, and here's how they sounded. They think it's a big conspiracy.
Yeah, but they take shit that's true and extrapolate it to a million. Where they're like, did you know that these skeletons they're extrapolated from tooth bones? And it's like
you can't debate them. Have you ever?
True sometimes, but like that doesn't mean this shit's like a whole cloth and throw it away. Like.
There's a lot of incentives involved for them to make it.
But you ever speak?
Go ahead.
No, I don't want to.
That their discovery was more significant than it really was. That's how they get grants. That's how they keep going. That's how they keep their jobs.
That applies to every
that's
part
interesting.
of research.
But I always thought it was. I thought it was crazy. Like if you've ever been in a debate with a flat earther or someone like that, is the fake moon landing. They know so much more about the subject than you do.
I have a whole new respect for flat earthers. I want to squeeze it in before the
Really? Let's do it.
Yes. Here's the thing that I have learned about flat earthers. You think that what they're telling you is they think the earth is flat. Nay. That's not the point of flat earthing. For a tiny percentage, maybe. But overwhelmingly, what flat earthers are telling you is that they don't believe fuck all unless you really prove it to them, right? So if you tell them there's a hole in the ozone, they're like, fuck you, I don't believe you scientists. Unless you can somehow demonstrate to me how there's a hole, I don't buy it. They don't buy anything you're telling them without a lot of proof involved. And I think about what I believe, what I know. So much of what I know is just blind faith. Blind faith.
True.
I'm learning about how carbon dioxide lowers the pH in a fish tank or the ocean, same thing. And basically what happened, you think pH is a measure of acidity, and it is, but it's actually a measure of the free hydrogen ions sitting in the water, right? So when carbon dioxide introduces itself into the water, it becomes like hydroxide acid or something. It's like H2O3. And then that loose hydrogen goes in the water and it lowers the pH level, right? I've learned how this works and the covalent bonds and shit. I'm coming up to speed on it. It's all making sense. Cool. I don't have any proof of any of this. I don't know. It is all blind faith. I can't tell you what's happening that hydrogen atoms are separating from like calcium carbonate or whatever the fuck is happening.
But it can be proven. That's something that you could look at under an electron microscope and watch happen. And then the proof is in the pudding, right? When the chemistry comes out, like math.
But he's operating on.
I don't believe it until you prove it to me, right? Till you show me. So, and I'm just trusting that the people who can prove it have proven it, and that the peer-reviewed research, but none of it is being proven to me. And that's what flat earthers are saying. They're like, I can prove the earth is round with photos and pictures and curves. And, we could take two 15-foot poles and put them long enough that they're not level anymore or whatever. Right. They're like on a beach or something like that.
Yeah.
But they're not saying the earth is flat. They're saying prove everything to me.
Yeah, they're mentally
and I don't
ill.
Take anything on faith.
But you can't live your life that way, though.
Right.
Like every step of the way, your boss, like you're the construction site. You're like, hey, I need 3 meters of concrete over here. Concrete's not even real, man. You tell me the Romans invented that shit thousands of years ago, and we're still using the same stuff. Why do they? You want some
Romans? Try the Jews.
So that's not a real one, though, right? They know concrete's real, but a better one is from my own experience. For until I was like 19, I didn't really know that medicine worked. Not really, not for sure. Did Motrin cure my headache? like,
or did time pass? Like
90 minutes later, your head kind of went away. I was going to do that anyway. I don't fucking know. Taylor nailed it on the head, right? It wasn't until I had strep throat that got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And so bad I couldn't swallow. I couldn't eat. I was getting really, really ill and weak. And I went to the doctor and he was shocked by how bad I had let my strep throat become. But I was a dumb 19-year-old, didn't think to go to the doctor soon enough. My mom always handled that decision making. And then they gave me something Cellin, and in like an hour, I'm better. This had gotten worse for like 16 days in a row or something insane like that. And in an app, cause and effect, right? That's when I learned medicine worked. I was a flat earther with regards to prescription medicine or Motrin or whatever. I can just, not that I'm a flat earther, but I can imagine how somebody would be. That's all.
Did you know there's actually another layer of it that I found? Like, not all of them think, well, I don't know if this is divisive within that community or not, but some of them think that it's like, there's an ice wall. Most of them think the ice wall thing, and that Antarctica isn't a little continent at the bottom of the planet. It's actually a ring around everything. Get this. Some of them say that's not even the truth. There's the ice wall, but beyond the ice wall is not the end. There are additional oceans, additional continents. And these things they do not need evidence for. They're all in on this part. And it's fascinating. It's really interesting. And it's interesting the same way like Warhammer lore is fun, where it's like, I want to know what you think about the flat earth. The problem is some of it, I can't tell if I'm being trolled. Like I can't tell if this person who's saying these things sincerely believes them, or if they're doing it so convincingly that I am sitting there making fun of someone while they're at home going, look at these retards believing me. Like
what's interesting about what you said with the oceans is it invalidates what I talked about, right? I was like, hey, they're saying, prove it to me. Yet they accept on blind faith that there's additional oceans out there.
Yeah, there could be more oceans or just an ice wall. Like that part is, the science is, like, you don't know. But, like,
prove to me there's no ice wall. You're like, oh.
Yeah, and see, that's all the proof I need to this. You can't prove against it.